Rosa Parks, Hero of Our Time, written by Garnett Nelson Jackson. When Rosa McCauley was a little girl growing up in Pine Level, Alabama, laws in this state separated African Americans and white Americans. The adults could not work at the same jobs. The children could not go to school together. Many white people and black people were not friends. There were fewer blacks than whites. Often, blacks suffered greatly. This was the law. This was the law of the land. This was the law that kept the South forever in shame. White, colored. Rosa was a tiny child, rather sickly and very frail, but she was always taught to stand up for her rights. She lived with her mother, her younger brother, and her grandparents. Never let anyone push you around, her grandfather Sylvester always told her, and she never did. Rosa's mother was a teacher. She taught Rosa how to read when she was only 3 years old. She also taught her how wonderful it is that she was a beautiful, smart African American girl. In school, as Rosa grew up, she was taught to hold her head high and to feel proud, and she did. Rosa grew into a fine young lady. She met and married Raymond Parks. Rosa never forgot her grandfather's teaching to be brave, and she remembered the messages of pride and dignity of her mother and teachers. Together, Rosa and her husband worked to better the lives of her people. They helped many African American people who were treated unjustly. She fought the law. She fought the law of the land. She fought the law that kept the South forever in shame. In 1955, Rosa and her husband were living in Montgomery, Alabama. She had a job sewing clothes. One day after work, she boarded a bus to go home. The bus became crowded. When a white man got on the bus, there were no empty seats, so the bus driver told Rosa to give up her seat. Rosa knew this was not fair, so, with bravery and dignity, she said very softly, "No." She fought the law. She fought the law of the land. She fought the law that kept the South forever in shame. The police were called. Rosa was arrested and taken to jail. This was December 1st, 1955. Rosa was released that night, but 4 days later she had to stand trial. Black people became very angry about this. Some white people were angry too. They knew Rosa was right. African Americans throughout Montgomery decided they would not ride the buses the day of the trial. Instead, they walked and they gave each other rides. They continued doing this for a whole year. This was called the Montgomery bus boycott. Finally, the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the nation, said that Rosa was right. African Americans could sit anywhere they wanted to on the buses, and they did not have to give their seats to white people. So the boycott ended. Rosa Parks' bravery helped make life better for all Americans. Laws throughout the South began to change. The way Black people and white people felt about each other began to change too. They were more at peace with each other. They began to work at the same kinds of jobs and go to the same schools. She changed the law. She changed the law of the land. She changed the law, and no more was the South in shame. One day in Alabama, Rosa boarded the bus, a small, quiet lady who wouldn't cause a fuss. But she was told to move and give up her seat so that a white man could get off his feet. She was taken off to jail because she said, "No more." And for blacks in the South, she opened a door. She started a movement throughout the land. African Americans everywhere took a stand. She changed the law. She changed the law of the land. She changed the law, and no more was the South in shame.